Shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Hudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, whose labors we have entered into. Shalom to the elect and 144,000. And any brothers and sisters that may be tuning in, may this lesson be edifying and uplifting. It is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone Chicago camp coming at you with another lesson. And the inspiration from this lesson stemmed from, of course, this post that you see. And it seems to be, it's just a regular, post, about these celebrities. But the point, the main, the title and point of this video that I plan on making is that, our people, Jake, in the midst of all this chaos, all these prophecies being fulfilled, Jake, our people, the Israelites, are only concerned with the things pertaining to this world, man. Folly, every piece of info, well, not info, because most Jakes tend to not, want to be edified according to righteousness' sake. But the majority of things that Jake interacts with in this world, they only interact with it for the entertainment aspect, and the aesthetic, man. Aesthetic meaning what? The appearance, man. Jake is only worried about being entertained in looking up to these celebrities, man. Not actually learning the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So a folly is highly esteemed in this world. And the worship of these celebrities, the worship of these idols and whatnot. But let's see, to start this off, let's of course go to Ecclesiastes 10:6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Right, we live in a world where folly is set in great dignity. Meaning what? It's uplifted, it's highly esteemed, in this world. And what does folly mean? The folly means what? Foolishness. Let's get the definition in the blue letter for the word folly. It says the Hebrew word sakal. It says it's like your silliness, folly. Yeah, and that's it. That's plain, man. Foolishness, silliness. All of this content that these people consume, this mindless content on these social media platforms. So like it. On these social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok and things of that nature, this folly is set forth in great dignity, man. But the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Shai, what really makes you, righteous, is not highly esteemed. People look down upon it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13. And I'll start at verse 20. It says, as the proud hate humility, so doeth the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up with his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. So, the rich man, successful people in general, are highly esteemed and valued, and loved and admired by many. So when they fall, when they go on social media and cry, people are going to come to their support. But for a poor man, especially a poor righteous man, a man serving Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's looked down upon by the world, they're thrust away. They're looked out as outcast. They come up with all kinds of names to shame the prophets. Like cults, calling us cult members, terrorists, and speaking all manner of evil against, Yahweh Shai's men, the prophets. Verse 22, when a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him. He spake wisely, and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? Or in modern term, who man's is this? Who does this person think they are? Essentially. It says, but if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? Who man's is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. And that's the dynamic, that's just the world that we live in right now. Wickedness, these rich people, these celebrities who ultimately have sold their soul. When you go into research on these contracts that are signed, and the humiliation rituals and things that these jakes have to do in order to receive that high status, so-called, under, of course, the Edomite elite billionaire class that control them. They're highly valued and highly esteemed in this world, man. But the poor righteous man, the many Yahweh Shai, I hate it, mainly by our own people. Because when it's come to us prophesying on those street corners, the only people that have tried to, fight us, the only people, the main people that have let off shots at brothers, trying to shoot, kill brothers, has mainly been these niggas, man. The same niggas that value these idols, whether it be an idol they see on TV that they look up to, or whether it be actual idols that they worship. Judah worshiping Buddha, Judah worshiping, plantation Christianity, Islam. These jakes in these various fields of knowledge, false knowledge, not serving the one true power. And they never listen to the prophets, man. All the prophets that the Lord sends out to rebuke our people and reprove them and actually lead them in the right direction, they're looked down upon and hated. This is Proverbs chapter 1 in verse 20. And I ended off with this. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. And this wisdom that it's talking about is, of course, referring to the prophets, man. The many Yahweh Shai, the men that speak these words, that push these edifying lessons, tying prophecy and history all back to these scriptures. Verse 21, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gate. In the city she uttereth her voice, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Right, man, this folly that we see on a daily basis, this foolishness that we see on this social media, it's all simplicity. And it'll make you laugh in a moment, but what do you gain from it? What do you learn from it? Nothing. So how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? It says, continuing on, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make my words known unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they would none of my counsel, they despise my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own ways and be filled with their own devices. And the fruit of a person's ways is referring to what their conduct, the way that a person lives, man. And the prophets are crying out, telling our people to repent of their transgressions and turn to Yahweh Shai that they may be saved, and they continue to despise us, man, and highly esteem this folly and foolishness of the world. Therefore, they're gonna have to pay for it, man. You know, and these Israelites, these Jakes, man, they be on this social media, man. They be, and there's nothing wrong with, going on Instagram, every once in a while. Maybe you're done reading, maybe you got home from work, did your lesson, so to speak. You want to go and chill. There's nothing wrong with that, man. But these Jakes that overindulge in it and are not rooted in the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're going to find out that none of these things in this world really matters. And that the only thing that matters is this wisdom and knowledge and this truth that you Jakes keep on running from. But that was it. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Kwam Yasha'Allah wa Abba Babal. See you on the next lesson, Lord's willing.